In the They Shall Not Pass DLC for Battlefield 1, you'll get to experience 4 new maps as well as a new game mode called Frontlines, and I'm going to walk you through exactly how it works. Frontlines aims to combine the best parts of Conquest and Rush into one tasty package, and it most definitely achieves that. Now you may be thinking, well, isn't Operations meant to be a combination of Rush and Conquest? And well, yes, it really is in a way, but Frontlines plays a lot differently than Operations because in this game mode it's a lot more of a tug-of-war battle. In fact, it's more like a combination of Chainlink from Battlefield 4 and Rush. Okay, enough with the introductions. How does it work? Well, each team has 2 objectives in their base, and the map itself has 3 flags A, B and C. At any one time only 1 flag is fought over, and at the start of the game only B, the middle flag, is up for grabs. Once that middle point has been captured by a team, another point will open up, either A or C depending on what side of the map you're on, and then each team must either defend or attack that point. If the defending team successfully defend it, then the fight will move back to B, the middle flag again. But if the attackers gain control of the flag nearest to the enemy base, then the phase changes and the goal now becomes attacking or defending those 2 objective stations that are in the bases. The attacking team must capture both objectives by arming a bomb on them and exploding them, within a relatively small amount of tickets to win the game. If they fail to blow up the objectives, the match will then move back to the flag stage. As you can see, this is the definition of tug of war, and it creates some very close and intense games. In one of the latest matches I played, one objective had been destroyed and the last remaining objective had been set to blow up. We were within maybe 5 seconds of losing when we managed to defuse the bomb and push the enemy team back, eventually so far that we turned things around and won the game. It was a pretty epic experience to say the least. There is still a time limit in this game mode though, so if one team hasn't won outright, it will be either based on the amount of objectives destroyed or the amount of flags under their control when the timer ends. As I mentioned before, there will be obvious comparisons with Operations, at least at the beginning, but I think it does differ enough to be a separate mode. The flag capture areas are much more like Conquest than Operations, and of course it can go forwards and backwards. The objective section is a nice touch as well to differentiate it from some of the other game modes. When I've played Frontlines on Fort Vaux, that's the infantry only mostly indoors map, one of the things that you have to remember is that there's actually a lot of flanking routes and areas that you can go and work to get behind the enemy. It's definitely not a linear game mode, and on Fort Vaux especially you can use the outside trenches and dirt mounds to try and get behind the enemy team if they're holding B for instance, which is inside the fort. It's not just like that on Fort Vaux though. The playable area on these new maps is quite large, so it's not just a linear line that you're forced to play here. You can make some interesting flanks, and you'll need to as well because you're trying to capture a point that could in theory be held by the entire enemy team. The Soissons and Rupture map of course have vehicles too, but on Verdun and Fort Vaux they don't have any vehicles there and can make for some really nice infantry only Frontlines maps, and the first infantry only operation, as it happens as well. I'm interested to see what you all think of Frontlines when you get your hands on it. I think it's a fun new game mode that encourages flanking and thought to beat the enemy team. As always, thank you so much for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.